Welcome to this episode of Scrapyard Choppers. I'm Randy Danger, and we're building a bicycle today. This bicycle. Wait, it's already built. No. This is way too heavy of a bicycle. And I mean, way too heavy. This is too thick. This is probably 80, 90 pounds. All you got right here. So, we're going to completely rebuild this. The only part we're going to use is actually the middle part. I'm building this for a company called Speedcall. That's their logo. They do plasma cutting. We tried to do the whole bike, but no, that's not going to happen. Now, there's two ways to do this. Let me grab the steel I'm going to use, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I got this steel tube right here. This is an old coat rack or shirt rack or whatever it was from like a Target from back in the day. There's some pretty crappy spots in it, but there's mostly good steel on this side. So I'm going to use this for the frame. Now, there's two ways I can do this. I know what I need out of this, and that's just the skull part. Now, I could cut it out, just kind of, I don't know, figure out where to cut here, and then lay it down and then build the frame around it. Or I could just start cutting this up and lay this over top of this frame to show me where to cut it. I mean, either way, I'm kind of making it up as I go. That's pretty normal for me. I'm always just guessing, but I think I'm going to just lay this frame flat and then start cutting these tubes and just laying them on there and see where things go. Ugh, stuck at the table. Duck on it. Ugh. Yep, that's not light. So I'm not going to use this neck. So that really doesn't matter. So I'm going to lay this tube up here. We're going to make our first tube. Kind of just guessing here. What's going to look good? I don't want to interfere with this at all. That's like the main focal point of the bike. This bottom piece here has got to go too, because this will not have enough strength into the crank. It's a lot of figuring. I don't want to just start cutting because I'm going to lose all my material. At least got to do a little bit of figuring before I start just, you know, getting the grinder and going to town. I think this has got to go like this. So I'm thinking like a shape like this. That makes sense. Man, I'm thinking a shape like this, kinda. Kinda want to follow what's here with the frame and just make it lighter. Maybe that's just what I do. Now that I said that, what if I just use a little piece of this and go up off here. That. Go from that piece to here. And then make this where my seat post is, right there. And then just a piece here, and then connect these two. Another curved piece, trying to make it flow into that. I think I like it. So, let's cut this stuff apart. Okay, first tube cut. Let's see where it leads us to. I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't really have a plan. I don't really have a plan. I'm thinking if I put the neck right here, well, this there, and this down here, have another tube come into it. Alright, I can see it. Hopefully I can explain this very well. What I'm thinking is, I'm going to take the neck of a bike, right there, we'll say this is the neck, and this tube's going to go up into it, and then it's going to go right there. And then the next tube's going to come into it like that. Yep. That's what I'm seeing. Alright. Now what part to cut next? Do I need the neck? I think actually what I cut next is just cut this off. Just get it out of the way. That way it's flat on the table. So, just gonna lop that off. No going back now. Kind of doing a hybrid of what I originally talked about, those two options. I'm gonna cut this out, but I'm gonna cut it out so there's tons of room to make what I need to make around it. Oh my gosh, that forks weigh a ton. Oh man. Look at that, I just ruined a perfectly good bicycle. Well, there ain't no going back now. It's all cut apart. I actually have a plan. Finally. Sometimes you have a plan going into a project like this. Sometimes you just gotta start cutting and see what happens. So, let's talk about the plan for a second. So, I think what I'm going to do is leave this open. I'm not going to put a bar here, so I'm going to do... This bar is going to come down into here and go up to the neck. And then where that bar is going to meet the neck, we're going to do another bar that curves back to here. And then our seat post is going to go here, down to here. And then where our seat post goes down, there's going to be another bar down here. Because I don't think this out here just on this is going to be strong enough. I think when you pedal, this is going to move back and forth. And yeah, it just won't be any good. So we're going to run a bar here, a bar here, a bar to there, and a bar to there. Should be playing strong. I think what I got to do next is cut apart my parts bike, which is this green bike right here. I'm going to use this back part and the seat post, all this. Probably end up using this rim and try to find a fatter tire. I think this is a 26. Oh no, it's a 27. Shoot. Hopefully a 20. That messes everything up. Doggone it. I guess. See, the thing about a 27 inch is you can't get really cool tires on a 27 inch. I don't think they make them. Or if they do, I'd have to buy them. And if I have to buy them, then I'm not going to, it's just not going to work. I have some 26 inch Kendall Flames somewhere. I think. Kendall Flame's a really cool tire. But anyways, might not even be using this bike. I'll get back over here in a few minutes. I'm gonna have to cut up a bike. I don't know. We're just cutting and kind of got planned no. Better than we were doing a few minutes ago. So let me figure this out. I'll be back with you. So, alright, after much searching and debate, I was thinking about just using it even with the 27-inch rim. Turns out rim's bent. Thought about using that. I don't really like how it looks. If I cut it, you know, off here. So I've come to this. I think slice. Just for now. We're just going to set it up there and see what it looks like. I kind of have it lined up with this line on the table. So I know the skull is straight. So as long as I keep everything straight off that, I'm just going to have to figure it out. Still shooting from the hip. Here we are. Figuring it out though. Ow, right on my foot. Ah, man, I missed the steel toe. So I'm running into a few complications. From the crank to where the seat is pretty much, you know, way too long for someone with short legs to ride. So I gotta figure that out. I really just want to cut the crank out of this and then maybe move it somewhere else. I don't know. I can put the seat up here, be pretty freaking tall off the ground. Because this is my ground right now. So much more figuring to do. Still got to find a set of front forks that are going to work. Really trying to keep this bike as short as possible. So really, where you see the wheels is how long it's going to be. Try to keep it short as possible so they can take it on the road. I kind of got the frame down now. Okay, we're going to do big bar. It's going to start back here and curve up to here. Then meet this little bar right here, and then the front forks are actually probably going to be right here. Do I even need the bar going up? Car. Now I'm really thinking, because I could just use this bar as the backbone to here, and this bar should keep everything from being twisty-turny, and then all I could do is make a bar down here to here. Yeah, that's a good idea. I just had that epiphany while I'm doing it. Okay, let me explain. I'm gonna have a bar. We're gonna use some envisioning. It's gonna curve to here and then meet into this, and then the neck is gonna be welded to this and the bar. The bar is gonna keep this whole thing from being floppy, because the steel, like, it's like doing this. So I'm out here trying to figure out my fork situation. I figured out I need to figure out where the front wheel is before I really go ahead and start cutting steel for the middle. Let me show you what I'm working with. Yep. There's some forks somewhere in there. What a mess. Oh, we got forks right here. There's got to be some triple trees or something in here somewhere. I got these ones, but I really don't want to cut those up because they're pretty cool the way they are. Yeah, what a mess. Let me do some digging. Alright, I got this top bar cut. I'm getting it where I want it to go. I'm kind of guesstimating, so I know what's going into this. I want it a little long so I can trim it up to fit really well. And I'm kind of just eyeballing it here. Thinking right there. And then cutting this off right here. Now, I feel like a lot of this has been just messing around trying to figure things out. And at this point, it's just time to start cutting. So, I know I need to cut on that line right there. I got a line back here I made. Now I gotta make, this kind of makes sense because that's where we cut the bike off. So I need to find something that is the same distance or same length so I can run it around. I'm thinking a bolt might work. Let's see if we can find something. I said bolt, I meant nut. Nope. Random bit of tape. Nope. Alright. This nut, oops, I fall like I'm drunk. Jeez. So this nut is pretty much what I needed. Let me bring you a little closer, show you what I just did there. It's a little hard to see the mark on the camera, but I'm using this nut as a guide to follow this along. And I got my mark right there. Got to cut that off right there. So now I'm going to do the same thing right here. So I got this marked. I'm going to cut this off. I'm probably going to cut this tube right here. Or bar. Whatever. Flat stock. Got to cut that off. Probably going to cut it off. Drop my tape measure. Like an inch back. Probably like right there. Because we're going to a bar like this, and I want this bar to go inside here. I'll probably cut it on both sides so it fits around it, and then bend it down so it kind of flows into this. And then it's going back. I gotta cut another bar about 3 inches longer to here, up into there. So we gotta cut this piece of plate back here. Somewhere right around there. Actually, I might cut it off like this and leave this little bottom chunk. There's gonna be some areas here I'm gonna fill back in. Like there's an area up here I'm probably gonna fill in with this piece. So that's all marked now. I'm gonna get to cutting, get this all cut apart, and then we're gonna start welding this thing together, I think. It's always a little nerve-wracking working on something for something else, or working on something for someone else.
Listen what I said. Into my way. Woo, those screams can raise the dead. Into my way. Hey there, baby.
There we go. That's gonna be a cool bike. I'm excited. I still have some worries, mostly to do with this crank and neck situation. I think the crank's just gonna have to go right here. And that's all there is to it. But yeah, that's it. I'll take you over with me to my uncle's house. I mean, down there, hit that subscribe button. Also, give me a like. Likes are important. It shows YouTube that someone took the time to hit a button. That matters, I guess. Well, yeah. Hit the like button. Maybe leave me a comment. What do you think? What direction would you have gone with this bicycle if you were building it? Also, what color do you think this bike should be? That might be more important. Their tradition is just steel, bare steel, and almost like a bed coat kind of black, which is what I'm thinking. But let me know, because that'll be coming up in the next episode. I'm just putting it together this episode. So let's go to my uncle's. All right, I'm over here at my uncle's house. Gonna do some sandblasting. That's much easier than trying to hit it with the dang wire brush, that's for sure. Dang, this thing's working really good. Sorry, I'm gonna get to it. Got a lot to do.
Ain't been fed. Woo! Come closer, my little co-ed. Hey there, baby, I ain't been fed. Slide in.
It's alright, everything's back from the blaster. Well, from me blasting it, I guess. So now, the next step is weld this to this. I think that's a good start, since this is the angle that it needs to be. So I need to find center of this tube. And I think all I'm going to do is take my ruler. It's at 1 inch. So make a mark there. Mark here, mark it straight down. I know that's center. And then I just got to line this up on the line. And then I'm going to tack it together. And then we'll stand it up and make sure that the back end's straight. Same thing with these tubes. Just got to mark center on them so I know where to weld it. I'm going to have to come up here. This is going inside here. So I got a little mark here. Gonna continue it up here and then kind of make it fade off into there. So we'll do that after, or we'll do that before we get that welded onto this. Be easier to cut on the table, I think. So yeah, we'll start here. Mark center. Start tacking everything together. Move the welder over. Ready to go. See if this works. Perfect. It's a little looser than I wanted, but be alright. We'll have to make some filler go inside this. Time I get this centered here, it's tacked. Got a little bit of wiggle room to get that centered. It'll work out. I'm gonna get the back on first. Alright, now I gotta try to mark center on this. This is gonna be fun. There we go. It's pretty good. Basically, all I did right there is I looked straight on at it, held the tape measure up, lined it up, marked center. I knew that hole was off center right there, so I could trust that, and then that's off center too. Now, I think what I'm gonna do is steam this up. Like this. Move it back here. Stand that up like that. So that right there should be centered. Just that easy. All I'm doing is looking where the mark's going in there, mark's going in there, it looks centered. I'm going to throw a tack weld on the very top here and a tack weld on the very top here. Stand back and look at it so I can tweak it whichever way it's got to go. Now if I were smart, I would have had that all ready to go so I could tack weld it when I just had it centered. You know, here we are. Alright, let's line everything back up and throw a little tack on it. Alright, first piece tack welded up. The cool part is I'm using this line right here. So all I gotta do is come back here and using that line at center, I should be able to find this straight, or get this straight. I mean, find this straight, get this straight. I'm just eyeballing it for right now. That looks really straight. I just get something else centered in here, like a piece of steel. So I know that's centered with that. Now all I gotta do is come in here, inch and 5/8, inch and 5/8. Inch and 5/8. That's straight, apparently. Together. Now the next bar, I can go ahead and just lay on here too. Alright, so I can continue with this next bar. I gotta do some trimming on it and this neck piece. So, come up here with a marker. There's only 3 of them. Where are they at? The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna walk down here to the other side. Right? Now I'm gonna have to make a little filler piece for right here to fill in this gap, but this is all weldable. I really can't go down too much more here. I might be able to trim a little bit out of here because of how the skull will sit on here. But I'm gonna trim this up a little bit more. Well, that fits a lot better. A lot better. This needs to be squeezed. It's a lot bigger than this pipe, so it's sitting on these, so I'm gonna come over here. I'm getting in the vise and I'm trying to make sure that this is straight, so when I smash this down, it's gonna work. See, now I shrunk that up That worked pretty good, actually. Okay. Okay. Come back over here. Now, hopefully it fits between those bars. Of course, now that changed that. Shoot. I'm kind of thinking about actually cutting this so I can lay down like into this. Like this pipe will go inside this. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because this has to go down. It's up too high. So I'm going to professionally eyeball this. Hopefully you're seeing what I'm seeing. Let me explain this. So, this is sitting on top. So apparently, my GoPro did not start filming. I did not realize this. So I just spent a lot of time getting this bar on and getting it straight. It didn't show you jack or squat. Jack or squat. It's hard to see with these safety glass on, but let me bring you up to speed because I can't make things go back in time. Spent a lot of time getting this bar straight onto here. Got a tack welder right there. I sliced this so it went down, so I got enough room to put the seat block on. It's still gonna go down more, so I'm probably gonna have to cut into it or trim into it a little bit. Or actually, this will probably still be fine. So, yeah, top bar officially on. Of course, it's just tack welded for now. So, next step is one of the most critical steps when building a bicycle frame. Also, why you should probably have a jig. My jig is this line in the table, basically. So, what I want to do first is actually level the middle part of the frame here. By that, the back or the front or this part needs to go up a little bit. Or about a lot of bit. About another ½ inch. Yep, still more. There we go. So now that puts the skull level where it's got to be. Prop this up so it can't slide down. Alright, frame is level. I'm going to come back here 5 3/4. Pretty much where I need to be with this front end. This is going to be a little tricky to do by myself. Just kind of get an idea of where I'm going to be here. That's way taller. So, this is pretty much as low as it can be. And it's at 7.5. So it's like 1.5 inches taller, which means same level, the front of the bike's going to be 1.5 inches lower than the back of the bike. So I need to stop and then lay this bike on its side. It won't be hard to put it back up in my table here. Just see where we're at. Everything's all tacked welded together, so I gotta be real careful when I pull this up out of here. Welder off. Now what I'm going to do is lay it on its side, put tires on it, and just kind of see where we're at. Shut this up. A little bit of a cleanup. Just level on here. Where did I put my tape measure? Here, tape measure. There it is. On the welder. Where else do you put it, I guess? Oh, let's set the back wheel on. Kind of see where we're at. This is actually what I'm been scared of this entire build. Is, well, start tagging this thing together and figure out that this front end just ain't long enough. Let's see what we got. The back wheel's lined up, that's level. And this is about as low as it can be, as far back as it can be. And it's about 1 inch short. That means the front of the bike will be down 1 inch. Which means the logo will be crooked. Which is what I'm trying to avoid. So how do I move this all down 1 inch? Questions. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have a set of front forks that are 1 inch longer. I'd have to make some. Which is really not what I want to do. So I don't think I have a set of front forks that are 1 inch longer. So I'm probably going to have to make some. Which is not what I really want to do. But if I can make them a little longer. Maybe like 3 inches longer. 2 inches longer would be good. I make them 2 inches longer. It'll move this neck up to where I want it right in the center. Yep. 2 inches longer is what I need. Oh. Let me do some figuring and I'll be back with you. So I ate some lunch. Had a really good think. And I figured it out. So, right now the wheel is at ride position. Or, you know, this is the ground. Can you see that? Yeah, this is the ground. If I just move everything a little forward. This part. If I just move everything a little forward, puts the wheel where it needs to go. And make this piece as a filler. That is going to go fill in nicely. And then I'm going to make a gusset to go in here too to keep it strong. So, just going to cut this off, grind all the paint off, grind this edge. It's the right curve. Obviously, it was cut off this piece, so better be the right curve. The slice lined up with this slice perfectly. Got to do a little filler on the top. The gusset is going to be what really makes this strong again. It's got a nice angle, kind of flows. I'm going to have to cut this straight off so I can weld it on. And yeah. That should be plenty strong. It lines everything up where it needs to be, and I don't have to make a set of forks, which makes me happy because these forks work really good. The brakes are already lined up with it, and I like them, so I didn't want to change them. My goal really is to keep this bike as small as possible. I'm going to add like an inch going forward for its length, but I'd rather do that than make a set of forks. This is going to be a lot less work. So yeah, I'm going to get to cutting. Alright, now I got to try to hold this and cut this. And make it perfect. No pressure. There we go, there's that. I'm gonna grind the paint off it real quick and then we'll weld it up here. Cool. That's tacked. I'm gonna stand this bike back up so I can really see what I'm doing. I think I might go ahead and just cut this out of my way for right now. Where is the marker? That's gotta go. So then I'll be able to weld it all the way around. Now you might be asking yourself, this seems like a lot of damn work for something. I could have made this work before. But the issue is, this needs to be level. It's their logo. It's the most important part of the bike. I want it level. Well, levels can be when it's sitting on level ground. Obviously, it's not always going to be level, but I'm doing my damnedest to make sure that this looks right when it's sitting perfect. Yeah. So, it just needs to be done. I'm going to weld this all the way around because I'm dedicated to this now. Stand it back up, and then I'm actually going to mark this right now so I know where they got to line back up. Something like that. Trying to line it back up so when I stand, because I gotta stand this straight up and weld this on. Just want to make sure we'll stand it up and kind of go from there. But first, finish welding. Alright, it's all tacked up. Time to weld. There's definitely a Gaposaurus Rex on there, but get it done. One way or another. Might have to use some filler. Alright, I went ahead and measured this out and then marked center right here, and then I marked center right here. So all I gotta do is line it up and then throw a tack weld on it. Oh, missed that time. Alright, now before I get too crazy here, let's get this thing back on the table, right? Because I think I got it. I'm gonna double check. Perfect. Yep, that's it. I'm gonna grab a square real quick and then we'll double check everything. So we're gonna come in here. Make sure we're square. Alright, that's square. So now we're gonna come to right here. Do kind of the same thing we did on the back. I'll find that piece of steel. Two and 3/4. And 7/8. 2 7/8. So 2 7/8, 2 7/8. I stand back, everything looks straight. I'm calling it. Time to weld. Holy crap. I'm excited. This is like the last big hurdle. Besides doing the piece in the bottom, but it's not a big deal. Make sure nothing moved. Close enough. Time to weld some things up, I think. Before I go ahead and do the bottom bar, I'd really like to get a lot more of this permanently set. At least strengthen a little bit. So let's just throw some more welds on it before I lay it over again. There we go, more tack welds. Now I think I'm going to double check that back. I can still adjust it even though I put more tack welds on it. Because I got it all squared up on the table right now, so I might as well double check the back. And if that's good, well then, time to do the bottom, I guess. That's going to be a little difficult. Not that any part of this bike has not been difficult. It's been very difficult since the beginning. Double check the square. That looks straight. Looks straight from the back. Alright. Time to do the bottom, I guess. Almost a roller. Sorry, we gotta do some trimming here. Find my goggles. I think I'm ready to throw a tack on it. Before we do that, actually, I need to do something with this. Make a decision right here. This looks cool, but it's in the way. Marker. Everything always just keeps walking away from me. Is it on the floor? Yep, floor. Behold the marker! Okay, enough of that. So I gotta get in here and figure out what I'm gonna do. It's gotta look finished. And it's also gotta tie into here. Like these are gonna come up to it. Kinda just thinking something like that. Not too bad. Yeah, I like that. I'll just come back later and fill it in. I just don't want to take too much off because these got to be welded on there. So, gonna make sure this part right here is center. Yeah, it's alright. I'll have to fill this in later. Maybe I'll make it a little round. I put like a BB or something in it. We'll see how the wheel comes up in here. So, now that I'm done with that, I'm going to come down here, grab a tape measure. And center this thing. Now, I'm going to stand back and look at it. We'll see if it's the right way. How about you look? Is that straight down? Probably going to be hard to tell on camera. It looks really good as far as I can tell. Okay, are you ready for this? What do you think? Head to skull on there. It's sitting a little lower than what it's going to be because the back tire is flat. I got it just tacked together, of course, as you've seen. I really like it. It's definitely crazy. I'm so glad I managed to keep these front forks short. I really think it helps the bike, keeping these forks short. Now what's left is everything else. You know, welding, handlebars, where the crank's going to be. So I think when I get back on this tomorrow, I'm going to put the seat on. And, yeah, kind of figure out some crankage. But pretty dang cool.